It's the most real fireplace that Indian Ladder Farms has ever had.
All the way up.
There we go.
It's the most
All right,
fireplace
Milos, you're in big trouble now, buddy. I'll keep an eye on you. We are here for, hey, episode 10 of Agricultural Acts is underway.
Oh, hi, Jeff.
How y'all doing?
This is our host, Jeff.
If you
he didn't see you there.
I am the host, Jeff. You can't see me. I'm here. That's Dieter. We got Scott. We got Alex. We got our special guest, Kevin Mullen from Rare Form, and our executive producer, if he makes it through the episode without being burnt, Milos over here. We ended episode number 10 by saying we were going to take a break for some dinner, and we enjoyed fine Pakistani food. I think we can give this place a plug now, right? That was solid food.
I would say yes.
Yeah. And when you have more than Subway as an option in Altamont, that's something to be excited about. Do we know the name of the Pakistani restaurant?
Yeah, Dieter, let's hear it.
That we just ate from?
It's what? It's curry pata.
Curry Pata.
Yeah, Curry Pata.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
He's located at 187 Main Street in Altamont, New York.
Now, I have no fucking idea what I ate, but it was good.
That was the name of it.
Was that? Oh, yeah. Well, this is, I'm loosening up. It's not the radio. It's the podcast.
I don't know. We just ate what was left over.
No, it is Curry
We did.
Pata.
We did get the end of it.
I know.
was
I had a
good.
tomato.
I've been
It was
there.
Good tomato.
A new restaurant here in the greater Altamont
restaurant.
metropolitan
Yeah,
area.
We
So
have.
we are the new Troy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got Pakistani food.
Yeah, absolutely. Rare Form Brewing Company, located there on Congress Street. What was it? 90
Congress Street.
90
Yeah,
Congress
look
Street.
at that. Memory.
I don't remember how many gallons are in a barrel, but I remember the address for a fine brewery in Troy.
I think it's
You live in
90.
Troy?
I do. Yeah.
Nice. What's your favorite food in Troy?
You know what? There's a place that I love. It's called Bespoke. They're like they're a block away from us, but they have the best. I mean, well, one, the Bespoke bowls are amazing, but they have the best chicken fried sandwich. I would put it up against any chicken fried sandwich in the entire capital region.
Is it like poke or is it, what is it?
Those are
What
some
kind of
bold
food?
words.
Poke, but yeah,
okay,
but
cool.
that chicken sandwich, the fried chicken sandwich they do with little maple honey on it.
Is it like the top,
It is.
Is it like katsu chicken or is it?
No, it's just it's straight up just fried, perfectly crispy. It is fantastic. It is, and you can ask anybody that works at Rare Form. I'm like, this is the best fried chicken sandwich in the capital region.
All right.
Well, when we do our next
I'll bring you there,
collaboration
Alex.
there.
I'll drive you there.
What an incredible explosion for the chicken sandwich over the
It's-
course of
it's
the last
good.
12 to 18 months. Right?
Holy chicken
I
sandwiches.
mean, my God. If you don't...
Indian Lighter's getting on the chicken sandwich pretty soon.
Oh, they're already lining up.
Yeah, chicken sandwich cider.
Chicken,
I got a
chicken sandwich
Chicken
cider.
cider coming out soon.
Yes. That is
chicken sour coming up.
a
too.
great
Yeah.
idea.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Love it.
You're kidding about this, so are you serious? I don't know.
If it's got chicken in it, it's good.
Okay. Agricultural Acts, episode number 10. Let's get back into kind of where we left off with episode number 9.
Where was that?
We were talking
Dinner.
about the collaboration
dinner.
that Indian Ladder Farms and Rare Form did. Are you working on another collaboration?
Good.
Right? Because that wasn't the only one that was done.
How did you guys meet?
Oh, that's a nice story, I bet.
Well, I met Kevin on Tinder. His wife didn't know about this.
Tinder
Oh,
or
it was
Grindr,
Grinder.
yeah.
Yeah, it was Grinder.
Looking for a man to collaborate with.
I don't know. Kevin started a brewery in Troy, and the princess was living in Troy. Oh no, this was before I met the princess.
Yeah.
I remember I brought my parents to your place.
That's right.
Now you've involved your parents?
Oh yeah, I brought
Yeah, they came.
They had to drive. They had
On
to
the
drive
first
me to
date?
my Grinder date. Yeah.
You had to meet your mom on
Yeah.
your first grinder
Yeah,
date.
Steve and Ann had to drive me to my first Grinder date.
Wow. So,
Good people.
Yeah.
No, it was,
But they care. They care about their
So that
son. They
was,
want to make sure.
That was right when you guys first opened up, and you had Jamie. Jamie was still brewing with you.
Yeah, we opened up. Yeah, we opened up and then there was 6 months. It was just me, and then 6 months later we hired Jamie, and then. But I remember the first time I met you, which I think was prior to actually that, which I told you before the story. I was at going into. I was there at Omegang when it was his first day as working as a
tour guide.
Tour guide.
And that only lasted for about a week.
Wait,
Yeah.
so
Before
before
I
you
got hired
were
as a brewer.
okay, you were giving tours of the brewery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
it was basically to get my foot in the door.
Right, and
So
that's
I literally just left brewing school. I looked all up and down the East Coast for jobs, and no one would hire me because I had no experience. So.
which is such a sticky wicket,
Yeah, it's
right?
so
Like you
stupid,
can't
right?
get experience
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
experience, but how are you gonna get
It's-
it when you can't get
And
it?
It's
then,
tough.
then the owners discovered what he was doing on the tours, and they said, "You're going to be a brewer." My God, you got to stop saying that stuff.
Yeah,
Let's get this guy behind the scenes.
it was hilarious because all the guys on the floor would hear me and like, holy crap, this dude knows more than I do. Like, what? Why is he doing tours?
Yeah.
Where'd you get your knowledge on
you
the
stood
brewing?
out to me on that because it was my first day like going to Omegang, and you were there. You're like, oh, this is my first day as a tour, and you were talking about stuff. I'm like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
It was the longest tour in the world, too. It was literally a 3-hour tour.
Those were long tours. And
That
so
is
then
so
I was
annoying,
like, that's
right? If you're on that tour, you're like, can we just get some beer?
I don't
here,
know.
please?
I know.
Look at Kevin now. He now owns a brewery in Troy.
Right.
I think he was the professor on the tour,
No, it's
not Marianne.
I don't know. I look pretty hot. I look pretty hot.
Would you rather Mrs. Howell or the professor? No, let's play Mary Bang Kill with the players on that TV show Gilligan's Island. All right, so I'm gonna give you three characters from that show, and you got to tell me which one you would marry, which one you would bang, and which one you would murder. Okay, all right, all right. The professor, Gilligan, and Mr. Howell.
I would marry Gilligan because that's my last name, and I am Gilligan. I would bang.
He's in love with
He's a little
himself.
buddy.
Yeah.
What's your name?
The professor,
No,
Mr. Howell.
no.
You were given the three options: Gilligan, the professor,
He's never seen Gilligan.
Mr. Howell. Is that true? He's never seen Gilligan's Island?
I'm not.
he's
So,
he's younger
yeah,
than
so
that.
I'd marry the professor because money. I would bang Gilligan because that's my last name, and I'd kill the other guy. Thanks.
Kill the other.
This is a
See,
twisted
we're starting to get
relationship.
into a situation that I discovered a few years ago, is that we are old, and there are certain people of certain generations that don't know what the fuck Gilligan's Island
Wow.
is. One of them was my
Gilligan's
son,
Island, but I
and
didn't pay
we, the bride and I, were pretty high one night. We decided that we'd make the boy watch Gilligan's Island
Exactly.
and we did.
Nice.
And he looked at us like we were insane, which we were.
I know exactly. You
and
watch Gilligan's Island, don't
and he
pretend
said, he said, why would anybody watch this? And we had to explain that back in the day, there were only 3 channels, and that was the best thing that was
Yeah, I'm very disappointed that it doesn't stand up. I would have thought it did.
I got Gilligan's Island now. I watched Nick at Night. I was still, I'm still old enough for Nick at Night, but you watch Gilligan's Island and you don't
He's
retain
going way
any
back.
character
Yeah,
names.
Nick at Night.
You just get stoned and you watch Nick at Night and you don't retain anything.
Yeah.
the professor and Mary. Oh, sorry.
But so, we'll just drop that game then. We'll drop that little game right there.
That was fun though.
I don't know. Alex, you said you wanted games. Scott brought up Gilligan's Island because you were given a 3-hour tour
Oh, yeah,
out at
3-hour
Omegang. Yeah.
Yeah.
3-hour tour.
So see how your brain works.
Yeah. Welcome to it, my friend. Okay, so that's how you met, Kevin
Yeah.
and Scott. you met at Omegang, and then where was that story going?
Well, I mean, after that, it was just
He
straight
started
up
a brewery. I
brewery.
started working.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
You started working at Omegang,
yeah.
and you started the brewery.
Yep.
Yep.
Out
And
here.
then, Scott, you 5 years here at Indian Ladder Farms now. It's coming up on, no?
No.
The brewery itself is
No.
coming up on 5
We're
years.
coming up on 5 years.
Okay.
As a company, I've only been here for just a little over 3 years.
Well, that sucks.
Nah, but honestly, I have been here since day one. I remember
Yeah,
when
we couldn't get rid of him. Haunt the
Yeah.
place.
Well, is he just giving tours to random people?
Parents,
Well,
they're
yeah.
hanging
Well,
around.
my car
I
would
believe
not
that.
keep going to nuts. Immediately, it's like, oh, I see Dieter and Lisa out there. I have to turn in to the parking lot. And then I still had my cool little Scion, and
Cool.
yeah, it's a cool car, right? And I showered them with rocks one day. It was awesome. Remember that, Lisa? I showered you with rocks.
You peeled out in your Scion? And
Oh
shot?
yeah, came in with a four-wheel peel, and of course, when something like that happens, who shows up around the corner?
Dieter.
Old man Pete.
Oh, Pete. Pete comes in.
Father-in-law.
You do something stupid like that, oh yeah, he shows up. He's like, oh, what happened here? I was like, I don't know, some fat guy came in here and did this.
They've got a way about them,
Yep.
those old gentlemen, don't they?
But yeah, but I would come in here and I would help out with any way possible. I taught Dieter how to use a ZOM, which is a carbonation tool. for the
Okay.
first
He didn't
time.
like the way I was
Forget
shaking it.
Nagel.
Okay.
Wait, tell your story about Nagel.
Proper brewer
What?
shake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the
Brewer
ZOM.
shake.
Everybody knows the Zom and Nagel, but
No,
Where's
no,
Nagel?
nobody knows what you're talking about.
Zaman, this is radio. Nobody can see the Zom.
We can
Or
paint
the
a
Nagel.
picture.
it looks like a
Alex,
Swedish-made
Alex,
piece
Alex,
and
Alex.
larger pump.
Okay.
Yeah, have you ever seen?
As opposed to,
Have you ever seen Austin Powers?
sure.
Yeah.
I swear it's not mine.
It looks
That's
like
where
a
it's not mine.
Swedish-made
All right.
piece and larger pump.
Okay.
And you basically you run your beverage through it, and it's got a pressure gauge and a temperature gauge, and you measure the amount of volumes of CO2 that are in your beverage. So it's to check the carbonation of what's in your beverage.
Okay.
And you can tell the difference between a brewery that cares about their product and doesn't as if they have one.
Okay. That makes sense.
Or if they have a Gehaltometer.
German made.
German made, no shaking involved.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
this-
no-
you
Come
kind of
on,
hook it
it's
up
not
to your
fun.
you kind of hook it up to your
You gotta see
Zwickle.
these guys when they're shaking the
Yeah.
Zom. It's hilarious.
The brewer shake.
Yeah, the
that's-
Brewers
The
shake.
brewer's
Yeah.
shake. So
I have video.
I'm curious now. What is a good? I don't think I've ever had an over-carbonated beer.
Sure you have.
I have.
Yeah, you have.
Sure you
I have.
Have you ever had a Brute IPA?
No, I have not. Have it a brute IPA.
Yeah,
but-
but-
You've definitely had an overcarbonated beer
Oh,
at
yes.
some point in time.
and so
Yes.
it was mistakenly. It was an
Well,
accident.
it's
that it
something
was
that's out of
over-carbonated.
code. So
Oh, yeah?
it's like, but
Yeah.
if you look at the bottoms of cans, they have date codes and when it was packaged.
Uh-huh.
And you open up, it's like, whoa, it's still foaming, but you'll pour it into a glass.
Yeah.
And it'll still be very lively. So that's
Most of the time, if you
Okay.
don't have a Zom, you're undercarbonated.
And this
Because-
whole time, I've been
because
blaming
people
myself.
always try to pretend they know by tasting it. And that no worky.
I still
or they're way
live by the over the Zom. I would go with Gehaltometer. So it's another apparatus that you hook up to your tank instead of hooking up to your Zwickle, which is your sample port, or also known as a sample cock. Yeah, there you go. That was a good laugh. So you hook it.
What do you think
So,
Zwickle means?
yeah.
How do you think I got my wife?
German for cock.
So you would hook up this Gehaltometer to the tank. You run.
Sounds so made up. This
Yeah.
is awesome.
If it sounds made up,
Like a show cock.
just buy one for me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Halfman BV makes a really nice one that gets a.
It's not that expensive.
But if you get the one with the Orbisphere,
Yeah.
So Zom and Nagel, that's the traditional apparatus you use.
Right.
And so it's
been
basically
around
two
since,
old
like-
German names, and everybody goes, "Oh, well, Zom gets all the credit and Nagel doesn't get anything." But Dieter enlightened me that he goes, oh, well, Nagel got out the game like 2 years after they made the company.
Yeah, like 1902.
Yeah. That's when that's when they still had the bottle piercing.
But they still keep the name.
Yeah, but they're also made in New York now.
Yeah. In Holland, New York.
So
Yeah.
Well, the Zamennagel, that's like the classic brewery apparatus to check your carbonation. And it's called a Zamennagel, but Nagel is long gone.
Do different styles of beers have different carbonation levels?
Yes,
So
they sure do. Yep.
tell us what some higher carbonation level beers are.
Belgian beers like Saison or something like
Okay,
that. That
this
has a
makes
higher
sense.
carbonation level.
Yeah.
Let's see what else is there. Kolsch beer. Kolsch will have higher carbonation level. I like to go pretty light on my pilsners, but typically pilsner like Czech pilsners are like they're pretty high.
yeah. Think about it like when you're if you're drinking a seltzer, you know, like one day to think about it, gauge about it is if you're drinking a seltzer beer and you get that sharpness across the tongue that like bites at you, that's a higher carbonation. That's like 3%, you know, or 3. So with some of those lagers, you'll get some of that, but you want that at like a 2.7, 2.6. You know, most beers are roughly around 2.5, 2.55. Depends on the style, though. Like if you're looking at like a very like thick, viscous stout, you're looking at like maybe something that's more on a 2.2 or 2.1. You know, so it just varies, and it helps. I mean, it really helps decide on like how the person themselves tastes that beer. So because that comes across the tongue, and it comes across the tongue, you have that CO2. Like if you drink a Coca-Cola, or you like suck that down, right? And you take one big gulp, and just like it just spreads across your entire mouth with those bubbles, and like is a sharp like CO2 like pungentness on it. Well, then you don't taste anything, you know. And so it's about how the beer interacts with that as well. It's super important.
And weren't the porns are here? Don't they? And maybe a lot of people do this. Totally non-carbonated beers.
Still
Those
beers.
exist?
Yeah, still
Yep.
beers.
Still beers.
Yep. I love still beers.
They do beers that are bottle conditioned, so they're actually carbonated within the bottle using just sugar and yeast, and so that's all done within the bottle, and that's all contained within the bottle. There's a separate fermentation and a second fermentation that goes on within the bottle. That creates under pressure, it creates its own carbonation. And so whatever you get, that's what you get. And so it's probably on a higher carbonation level because
Bottle conditioned beers can go from anywhere from like 6 grams per liter all the way up to 8.5 grams per liter.
Yeah.
There's a metric system.
That's nice. Thanks.
Also, adding more carbonation, more CO2 to an alcoholic beverage, also, translates into how quickly the alcohol gets into your bloodstream. And so the higher amount of CO2 in the beverage, the higher carbonation, the faster that you will become, inebriated from that alcoholic.
You won't become more inebriated. It'll just happen faster.
Yes, correct.
Right
so,
on.
but it happens faster, so it feels more intense. So that's something to kind of, you keep in mind, but it's not a big deal. It's more just like it's up to the bartender to kind of talk to the patron, like, hey, this is a higher carbonation, so you guys could
What's that,
be
Data?
more comfortable.
Don't drive.
Yes, don't drive.
Don't
so
drive.
like when I did internship over at Duvel in Belgium, we did let's see, the finished product was 5.4 grams per liter in the bright tank, and with math done, it's like we added this amount of sugar, this amount of yeast, highly viable yeast, so like you had that secondary fermentation, but we'd also add we would do inline dosing of liquid nitrogen, which was kind of cool to see, because when you have like a glass of Duvel, it's just like, it's very effervescent, but that head does not dissipate. It stays there. and we were always shooting for about like anywhere from like 7.6 to 8 grams per liter of carbonation. And of course, with that nitrogen, it kind of helped out a little bit to keep it a little bit tighter, which was very cool.
Tight. We've got Kevin
like a
from
tiger.
Rare Form Brewing Company in Troy, New York. Dieter, Scott, Alex, executive producer Milos from Indian Ladder Farms. You're listening to Agricultural Acts, our podcast here. We appreciate you tuning in. I want to talk about a few of the challenges as we're nearly out of the pandemic at this point here, it seems. Everything's going in the right way. But challenges, so me, the layperson, I read that alcohol consumption has skyrocketed during the course of the last year, 18 months or so. But I was also reading that that's for like major producers like your Anheuser-Busch's and things like that. Have you at Indian Ladder Farms, or Kevin, you at Rare Form, what has the pandemic done to your consumption numbers?
Actually, when we're able to be open, our numbers are up because we're fortunate in that we have large outside area, so we're able to accommodate people that other places can't. So we're doing okay through this. If you have a small place and you have to have 2 tables outside, I feel for you.
Yeah, and if you don't have a major way to distribute your product and you're just counting on people coming through the door.
Right, and we were fortunate just before this happened, we installed a canning line, so we were able to, even when we were completely shut down, we were able to do curbside. And, I know that Kevin's been able to, survive by, opening up an outdoor space too.
Yeah.
And that beautiful, luxurious van of yours probably making lots of deliveries.
Yeah, White Lightning. White Lightning.
White Lightning.
By the way, if you have YouTube, is it YouTube that you guys had that on?
Yeah.
The delivery video.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
That was a fun little video to do. Yeah, I mean, for us, it was like, the outdoor space was key to it all. And now we're just weather dependent. Because, I mean, our tap room we can do 4 tables in there on a bad day. But outside, we can do, 20, whatever. So that's been the big key for us, is just we're so weather dependent and delivery dependent. So White Lightning getting out on the road and us doing whatever we can do to push outside seating is what's made us survive through the time.
It's got to be very tough to predict, especially with as roller coaster as it's been. How much do you want to brew? How much, are you going to have to pour some of this down the drain, or what? Is there a particular beer that you maybe were more apt to brew during this time that might have a longer shelf life, or were those things you were considering?
I can say for us, we definitely had to take that into effect, but we also started pushing more into chain markets like grocery stores and stuff. So it gave us another market, but we weren't focused on those prior. So it was a good move for us to start pushing towards those. Yeah, I mean, we our main thing was how can we brew beer that we're not going to be wasting, and that is an ongoing struggle at times.
Yeah, cheers on the Wegmans thing, man.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
awesome.
you and Weggies.
Man,
That's huge.
That's that's.
If only we had some in this area, but
I
that's
know.
great for everybody else that's got
know.
Wegmans.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's
Here's your
awesome.
We're very happy about
So
that, and
what's-
also very lucky. To
So
get
there were
that
some
to do.
interesting numbers the other day for the Brewers Association, because we're wondering how
So
many.
Kevin's killing in Wegmans.
Well, that wasn't in the Brewers Association. That's not how they put it. But it was more. I've been curious. It's during this, how many breweries are going to close and how many are going to open, right? Because it's everybody's like, well, these small breweries aren't going to make it, and this, that, and in the country it was 364 breweries closed, but 700 opened during the pandemic.
That is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel horrible for those 364 or whatever, but
Well, there's always going to, out of any kind of
right.
business, there's
Yeah.
always going to be, some attrition, people are not going to make it for whatever reason, but the fact that 700 opened You know, they probably had to, reconsider their model and so on, opening during a pandemic. But,
God bless them. That's just crazy.
being small businesses, the other thing the advantage that we have is we can be nimble.
Right.
You know,
It's
there's
all about pivot.
Yeah, I mean, there isn't like a week that goes by that we're sitting around going, we were going to do this, but now we're redirecting that funding to do this.
Now, if you go into like Westmere or something, they've got a well-trained staff that can lead you to the exact product that you're looking for. Wegmans has just as large of a selection of beers, nearly.
They hit a ping pong ball.
But-
You're like, that's over there somewhere.
Yeah,
Go
I
find
mean, you're
that
not
ball."
going to find a qualified staff to help you find. So I wonder often, is it just, luck of the draw as to where your product gets placed in the coolers or on the shelves?
It is very much based on distribution and who your distributor is. So, we'll find in areas that not only we obviously have the same distribution company, but if they're we'll be on the top shelf at one place, and we'll be at the bottom shelf at another place, depending on who the rep is in that area. So then we have to talk to that rep and be like, hey, why are we on the bottom shelf? We need to move ourselves up to the top shelf of that,
And I think maybe in the meantime, what we can recommend is everyone that's listening to Agricultural Acts, if you see a lesser product on the top shelf, you take that off, put it on the bottom, and put Rare Form
Absolutely.
up top.
Yeah, I feel like this would actually be a good time for Meatloaf to pop in, seeing how he is our sales dude. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Sales are up, up, up.
Yeah, there we go. Number one and moving higher.
Through the roof, baby, through the roof.
So it's like I saw the meme.
Nice, dude. Nice.
I saw the meme yesterday where it's like,
Saw the meme yesterday.
No, Jim Carrey in what's it called, Dumb and Dumber, where he's riding away from poisoning. What's his face with the
Oh, this is where I love the podcast. When we're near the end of episode number 2.
I think it's Jeff
and
Goldblum.
No, what was this that you were reading in the New York Times? No.
Pakistani food's kicking in.
One of the other challenges is, and maybe this won't last much longer, but people are making more on unemployment than they are on working. So I've been reading a lot about how difficult it is to find help here at the farm.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's a terrible situation. I mean, it isn't just the unemployment thing. It's also that. So we're in a situation where manufacturing is opening back up, and we have all these big distribution places, and they can't get people either, and they're offering these incredible packages that the restaurant industry just can't even begin to touch. It's like here on the farm we have 2 kitchens, and plus a takeout window, and we're only able to have 1 kitchen open, and we could be running all 3, but if we had staff.
Right.
But we don't have any staff.
That seems like you probably have never had that problem before.
Not to this extent. I mean, we've had issue with, trying to, to open up. I mean, because here we're such a seasonal place. We go from, literally upstairs they go from being closed to being open to going from like 12 employees to, 180. In a very short period of time. So how do you staff up like that?
Right. And how many employees do you guys have at Rare Form?
We have 10.
10.
So we're on a much different scale.
Right. And you
Yeah.
probably, not much turnover there. People,
No.
You didn't have to get rid of a whole lot of, I'm sure
No,
you
we-
maybe
we,
lay somebody off for a little bit.
No, we were able to keep everybody for the most part. But now we're starting to see because we have some full-time staff, and then we have staff that are like teachers and stuff like that, and we're starting to see now we have to increase our staff, and which is fantastic, but it's hard now to actually find staff.
That's smart to have teachers because you really don't necessarily have to ID any of the clientele. It's just like, no, you're in my class. Get out of here.
Totally.
That's nice.
Yeah, nice try, nerd.
2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing.
F for you.
Or an A+ if you buy the
Totally.
beer.
That's right.
How many different beers do you guys typically have going at any time at Rare Form, Kevin?
14 on tap. We 2 nitros. The rest, but we're always playing around with new stuff. So we always try to definitely have 14 on tap all times.
You've got some standbys that don't ever go away.
Correct.
Yeah, we've got on the table here a few in front of
Yep.
us. That Moxie, the double IPA, that's been around for
Yeah.
quite some time.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
a mainstay.
Yeah, that's a mainstay. That Troy Division, Practically Magic.
Core divisions taste real good.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Yeah, yes, those are mainstays, and then we rotate through a lot of different stuff and just play around with different things.
Do you?
And it's-
I stopped in when you guys first opened up, and it's the only growler that I have kept in my collection. You
Yeah.
kind of rotate them around,
Yeah.
give them to friends and stuff.
Totally.
Do you still have those incredible stainless steel?
No, I wish we did.
Oh, I still got one of those too.
Yeah, that's so great.
I don't-
Flip top, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
I
still got one of
don't.
those.
I don't have one for myself, but now I'm gonna steal his.
No, you're not. As a matter of fact, it's probably with my parents. It's probably with my parents.
Kevin, what is
Even
the
easier
rare
to
can?
steal, huh?
So the Rare Can is our ongoing canning series that we're doing, which is different runs that we're just running, and then we're canning them up every week, something different, and we're canning off a little system that I built, and that's it. So one and done type of deals.
Yeah.
Which?
Selling them at the farmers market, selling them at the tap room.
Oh, you guys are at the Troy's Farmers Market.
Yeah,
The Troy
this is the
Farmers
first
Market.
year that we're doing it. We've
Nice.
been doing it, so
Has
How
that
do you
been-
like it?
we love it. Actually, it's
Yeah.
been really good to us. So
We've been approached by several farmers markets, and we've always been whether we
They're a little
can.
creepy sometimes.
they are.
Well, how do you mean?
Farmers
How do you
markets
mean
are
that?
great. We love the farmers market.
You want to come to the farmers market?
I didn't have any issues with the farmers market, unlike Scott, but
I know.
it's
I
more-
feel like
it's
what
more-
happened to him
again,
at a farmers
for,
market?
For us, it's more like
If you have to ask,
staffing,
you
but-
can't afford it, buddy.
But now I know who we're sending to the farmers market.
Yeah. Yeah, we did a couple spots of different farmers markets, and now that we got into the Troy summer one, it's been fantastic. But that's
Yeah.
kind of like the big one, right?
Right,
So
right.
Well,
once you get in there, you're good.
What's better than going to a farmer's market? You buy some ramps, you buy some greenery, you buy some cheese, and then you get some beer to go home with.
Right. Well said.
What's the Brooklyn accent all about?
Well, let's go back to the small batch releases that you're doing.
Yeah, these rare cans are great.
Is there? I mean, besides the fact that it's just super fun to always have new things, is there more behind it than that? Is it easier as a brewery to do small batches? Is it more successful because everybody's always wanting to try different things? A plethora of reasons, or what?
Yeah, I mean, there's plethora of reasons. I mean, like for us, it's like we want to always kind of like experiment and play around with stuff, So it gives us an opportunity to be like, we can do, for us, a lot of our stuff is based on yeast strains. So I'll base our production on yeast strains. I'll be like, all right, we have this wonderful, fantastic yeast. So let me play around with it for a couple generations of it and do some beers on this yeast, and then we'll move away and we'll do work with these other ones that we're doing in tap room too, and then that is a way for us to continue to educate what we're doing and learning from it, so that then we can adapt to. I mean, I'm a firm believer of having like once you have a great, fantastic beer, that beer never stays. That beer should always adapt slowly over time to make, like, what can make that beer better. Other people don't, but you can taste it and you can see it and slowly shift that beer to a better beer, where to them, they're going to drink it slowly over time and they're going to be like, this is great. This is the same beer. But over that period of time, you're making this a better beer, continually a better beer. And you only know that if you're adjusting things and doing stuff yourself and testing stuff and getting actual scientific data to show it to you, so you can look at it. And that's part of what our our little small batches are for.
And that's why I keep the 3-barrel system, even though it takes up a lot of room in my small space right now. But
That sounds like you're selling Dieter on that one.
Oh, he's complaining.
I'm not complaining.
Always wanting more.
I know. He's always
Unbelievable.
pushing
Sorry.
the
Easy, girls.
So anyone that is listening to the radio waves, I have a 20-barrel brew house and a canning line and a 3-barrel system shoved in a 33 by 25 foot.
Wait, did you hear that
25
tiny violin?
I
It was a
really,
world-
I
it was-
know.
it was
Wah,
micro.
wah, wah. There's someone listening to this right now.
I'll take that 20-barrel
brewing in
system
their
anytime.
Home Depot 5-gallon bucket.
We'll go up there earlier, and everyone's gonna be like,
Ke-
"Oh,
Kevin's going, I could put that in a smaller space if you get it.
you ain't taking my ecto containment system." I'll tell you that.
Are you still using Voss yeast on stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a
Is
lot.
there anything here that you're using that?
Saturday Sun's got the Voss yeast.
Cool.
Saturday Sun. Which
That's
one's
like,
that?
That's like the, what is it?
Kveik
The
yeast.
Kveik yeast.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
Quite
fermented.
is yeast.
Yeah.
It's yeast. It's Norwegian for
Yeah.
yeast.
That's fermented at we fermented at 109 degrees.
Hells yeah.
Yeah,
How long did that take to get done?
we do.
Days.
Yeah, 3 days.
It's done now.
Yep. 109. We knock it out, pitch it at 100 and about 106, bring it up to 109, and do a 10 hours later. We're doing our first dry hop.
So you can turn over a beer in 1 week.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unheard of in the brewing industry as of the last couple.
No, a lot of people are
years.
doing it now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Just doing that now, it's just like
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
new thing, and that's,
Yeah.
It's
that's
a new.
amazing.
It's a new thing in the U.S. Really.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been going on in Norway for
Right, but turning
who
over,
knows
turning
who knows
over
how
an
long.
Exactly.
IPA
Yeah, well,
in a week, it's like
The
it's
Norwegians
amazing.
want everything right away.
Yeah. Now.
They're about-
Except
they're
for
about-
Stromic.
The Norwegians are about instant gratification, you know?
But yeah. So that one, the Saturday Sun.
Saturday Sun from Rare Form right here.
Yeah, so that's fermented in
Double dry
3
hop,
days.
double IPA.
Let's try it.
Juicy, soft, hazy,
Estery.
heavy mango, pineapple, and passion fruit flavors.
It's got those Uncle Fester's esters in there.
It's fermented faster than you could get 2 vaccines.
Now, do people still use what's that app that you log in? I've had this beer at this Untapped. Are
Yes,
people
they
still
do.
using
Oh,
that?
rape beer? You talking about rape beer?
Rate,
Beer advocate? Oh, sorry.
Whatever.
Sorry, I'm showing my age now.
whatever those, because it seems like
Wait, what was the other one that
everyone was all
Oh,
excited
yeah,
about that.
There was another one.
we all paid into it too.
I didn't. I never did.
But it's basically just
But I know
word
what
of
you're
mouth
talking
now,
about.
right? Like, you hang out with your buddies
beer
that enjoy
menus.
great beer,
menus.
and you tell them, "Here, I got this. You try this." It's word of mouth is the way it works best.
Yeah.
Cider's
Yeah.
got great feedback on
On beer menus?
That's
there.
On,
Oh, I
on
can't
tap.
stand on
Do you have my
I have a long
do you have my
passion against
MySpace
them.
address?
Which one? You have a couple.
Well, yeah.
You have 1 of 4.
Well, perhaps in episode 11 we'll dive into our MySpace accounts and get that information out to everybody. But in the
my name
meantime,
was Guy in Girls Pants. Don't ask me.
I won't.
We'll get into that
all
in
right,
episode 11.
all right. There's a lot of stories we got to get out of you. You're gonna find Indian Ladder Farm Cidery and Brewery all over social media. Same deal with Rare Form Brewing Company, 90 Congress Street in downtown Troy. You're doing God's work over there, Kevin.
Cheers.
Absolutely fantastic products. If you have not been to Rare Form, make it a stop on your next trip. You're gonna love the space. You're gonna love the people, the knowledge, and of course the beverages and live music making its return in that gorgeous space out back. So, rareformbrewingcompany.com, ilfcb.com. On behalf of Kevin, Dieter, Scott, Alex, and our executive producer Milos. That's it for this episode of Agricultural Acts. See ya. You've been listening to Indian Ladder Farms Cidery and Brewery owner-operator Dieter Gary. Its head brewer Scott Veltman and its head cider maker Alex Gill. The producers and engineers are Troy Pohl and Ian Carlton. Any questions, comments, thoughts, or suggestions can be directed to podcastilf@gmail.com. That's podcastilf@gmail.com. I'm Jeff Morad. Thanks for listening. See ya!